Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Tangela, but my friends call me Tan. And if you like this kind of content, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I would love to have you. Let's get started. Here I have this wood piece that I got from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take some white paint, Waverly white paint and Snow White, and paint that. And then we're going to take these napkins that I got from Walmart, came in a pack like this. And I'm going to take one of those and make a sign. After painting the sign, I used some Mod Podge and matte. We're going to just paint that Mod Podge on, let it dry. Then I cut out the piece of the napkin that I wanted. And then we're going to place that over the painted and Mod Podge piece of wood. I'm just using a piece of painter's tape there to remove the ply, because we only want the top ply. And then we're going to take a piece of parchment paper and put over that to protect the napkin. And then I'm going to take my heat press, and then we're just going to press the napkin. The press just reactivates the Mod Podge, and the napkin will become smooth and stuck onto the wood. And I'm just making sure that I get all of it, like the edges and the middle part. And then after that, we're just gonna sand off the excess napkin. And that's how clean it comes out. Look how nice that comes out. So this is our sign to celebrate our America's birthday, 250 years. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this one. All right, guys, here in number 2, I want to tell you guys about this bag of wood that I got from Goodwill. I couldn't believe that this was there. But anyway, of course, I picked it up. It didn't have the price right there, but I paid $2.99 for this whole bag. And let's open it and see what all we have. I was very excited to purchase this. So what we have here inside, we have some wood planks that clearly came from the Dollar Tree. But I'm telling you, all of this was at the Goodwill. So we have those. And then we have the little wood mini blocks or cubes. And we have a couple of oval-shaped wood pieces. What else do we have? All right. Okay, so we have several of these plaques. These are actually 2 different types of plaques. One is like really wavy and one is not, as you can see. Okay, it looks like it's about 3 each of those. All right. And then we have these, look like just wooden blocks. Okay, this one is just one piece, a wooden block. And then we have these rectangle shaped pieces. And look like it's about 6 of those. Oh yeah, that's nice. I can do a lot with all of them. But for this video, you guys probably can guess the ones that I'm going to use. And they're the rectangle pieces that we're going to use. So I'm going to put those away, and we're going to get started with our rectangle pieces. And what we're going to do is use this material here. Is some burlap with stars on it, as you can see. That also came from the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section. But we're going to cut out a piece of that. And as you guys probably can tell, I'm going to go ahead and make some firecrackers out of those wooden pieces. So I'm going to cut a piece of this burlap material down the sides, and then we're going to get that wrapped up on that piece of wood. I'm going to use this Mod Podge and mat to adhere the material onto the wood. Here I've taken a little piece of jute twine that's going to be my fuse, and I just hot glued it onto one end of the firecracker. Here I've taken another little piece of the jute just to put down at the end of the fuse, if you will, so that it'll look more finished. Then I'm taking this napkin that I purchased. I believe this one may have come from Hobby Lobby. Either way, I'm going to take a piece of this napkin and we're going to make one of the firecrackers out of this. We'll have two of the firecrackers with the burlap stars, and then we're going to have one with just these a bursting effect on the firecracker. I'm going to take a little piece of painter's tape, and then we're going to remove a ply from it and just leaving us with the one ply. Then we're going to use the Mod Podge. We're going to paint that onto the wood, and then we're going to press the napkin just like we did in the previous project. For these ends, I just basically wrapped it up like you do a present. I did the edges like you would do a gift. And the same thing, just pressing it and protecting it with the parchment paper. And I did that, of course, on both ends. Here, I have another piece of jute that's going to be my fuse. So as you can see, I just kind of twisted that together, and then I hot glued it onto one end of the firecracker. And here I just cut that fuse down the size. And this is how they turned out. I think they turned out really nice. And I did tie a little bow there on top off camera. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Here I have this little plaque that came from that nice little package from the Goodwill. We're going to take this little plaque. I'm going to paint it with this Snow White paint from Waverly. And I also have another napkin, and this one I believe came from Walgreens or the Dollar Tree. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But I'm going to cut out what I'm going to use with this napkin. And we'll be using both the stars and stripes, and I'm sure you can guess what I'm making. So I'm cutting out the stars that I want. After cutting out all the parts that I want, now I'm just placing it down onto the plaque as I am making this flag, as you guys probably guessed. And just so you know, I did put Mod Podge on this plaque after I painted it. And I also removed the ply after I cut all the pieces. You don't have to do that. You can remove the plies prior to that, which I should have done. But anyway, I did have to remove all the plies from each piece. So here I'm just placing everything as I want. I got my star set up, and then I'm cutting down the stripes and placing those. So after I got everything placed and the plies removed, I did use my parchment paper to protect the napkin, and now I'm using my little heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge. And if you don't have a heat press, you certainly can use your iron on a low or medium temperature without steam. And after I've pressed it, I just used a sander to sand down any excess napkin. And this is how it turned out. Let me know down in the comments what you think of my little flag. Here I have these two little wood pieces here that are from the Dollar Tree. I'm gonna paint one of these red and one of them blue, and I'm using the folk art paint, and I'm sorry I don't remember the name of the red, but it's the red from folk art, and the blue is the cobalt blue. And then I'm going to take these little mini hats, and we're going to place the blue one on the red plaque and the red one on the blue plaque. I was touching and feeling it because I was going to hot glue it. That's some plastic. The hats are made of plastic, and I wasn't sure if it was just going to melt it or burn right through it because it is very thin. But it worked out. I just applied that one the way you just saw me do it. And this one I applied it directly to the wood plat because I thought that might be better. And I just kind of fanned it to cool it down. And then place the hat on there. And it worked out just fine. But you do have to be careful because that hot glue will burn through it. Then I took this floral foam and my little Cricut tool there, and I'm just cutting that floral foam down to fit inside the hats because now they're going to become little planters. So after sizing up my floral foam, I took these red, white, and blue florals that I got from Dollar Tree, and I cut them down, and then I'm going to place them into the floral foam. But as you're going to see here in just a few minutes, when I stuck it down in there, of course the floral foam came up with it. So I ended up just hot gluing the floral foam down into the hat. Again, just cooling it off before I actually applied it. And then I'm just placing my florals in, the red, white, and blue, and I was making them as full as I wanted them. And to make it look complete, I added some floral moss into the planters. And again, this is how it turned out. I really like these little planters. They are so cute. And the little words that you see in front of them, they came from Hobby Lobby. And I just placed those in front of it. Let me know down in the comment what you think about those little planters. Now this last DIY I thought would just be fun to make. I've taken these little noise makers that I got from Dollar Tree. And we're going to make like a stadium, like how you do if you're having a big concert party maybe. So I'm taking this piece of wood that I got from Dollar Tree, and I've already painted it and put the Mod Podge on it. And I'm taking this napkin, 4th of July napkin, that I got from Dollar Tree. And we're going to take half of that napkin and we're going to Mod Podge it onto that piece of wood. So after cutting it in half, we're doing our same technique that we do when I Mod Podge. And that's placing it over our prep piece of wood. And I'm going to take my parchment paper, again, to protect my napkin, and that heat press. So we're doing the heat press, and you're just making sure you get all the edges, just all of it completely. And then after that, I'm just sanding the excess napkin off. And here are those noise makers. And I'm not going to change anything about them. I'm just going to simply glue them together with hot glue. And then I just simply hot glued the noisemakers onto the piece of wood, or the piece of wood that we Mod Podged. And I also put a little bit up the top there because they were kind of falling down, so I just put that on there. And this is how that turned out. I think it turned out so cute. And that word, I hope you guys can make it out. It says July 4th. And that also comes from Hobby Lobby. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and please consider subscribing or subscribe. I would just love to have you. And I hope you all have a happy and safe 4th of July. And just want to let you know I will probably be taking a week off because I have a family reunion coming up. And I'll be working on that. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.